This is the demo for MedicLoud, the electronic health record system. So this is MedicLoud's homepage, and when the user lands on this page, the user can either sign up, sign in as a health professional, or sign in as a patient. So I'll take you through the health professionals features first. So the health professionals are once again given the options to sign up or sign in, and I'll go through the sign up process. So contact person, I'll just put me, and I'll also enter a temporary email into Mailinator. So upon clicking go, MedicLoud will tell you whether your registration was successful or not. If it was successful, a email will be sent to your email address with the link to verify your account. So let's check it. Here we go. So I click on the link to verify my account, and it'll redirect me to a page where I can continue my registration process. On this page, I enter my username and my password, which are going to be my sign-in credentials from now on. And go. After clicking go, you're given a link to sign in. And I'll enter the same credentials that I just created. This will now redirect me to the health professional's dashboard, and upon signing in, the health professional will be shown his list of patients. This is a new health professional, so there are no patients at the moment, but let's add one. So once again, I'll go back to Mailinator and create a test email address. So let's add the patient. Health professional sees the add patient form. He's given the option to also add an existing patient. And I'll take you through that feature later, but right now we're going to add a new patient. So I'm now going to add the patient, and the patient will appear without a page refresh on the browser window. And we can also click on the patient to view their information that we just entered and to go to their profile, which I'll show you after the appointments. So the health professional also has the ability to add appointments with his patients. So let's add one. Upon clicking the appointments button or navigating to it through the nav bar, the health professional sees a calendar of the current month. To create an appointment, the health professional clicks on the date. So I'll choose May 25th as an example. And this modal pops up. There's a drop-down list for his patients and a drop-down list for the list of available times he has. So we just added the patient Helena, patient MedicLoud, and here are the list of times. So let's just pick 10:30. You can also enter a reason. Let's say not feeling well. and we can then request the appointment. Requesting the appointment, the health professional is able to view the appointment date or the appointment he just created by clicking on the date. And it shows up right here, Helena patient MedicLoud with an appointment time of 10:30 a.m. After booking the appointment time is also erased or deleted from the list of available appointments. As you can see, there's 10:30 is no longer an available time for the health professional to add an appointment on that specific date. Now I will take you back to the patient's list to go to the patient's profile. This is the health professional's view of the patient's profile, and over here he can add observations, conditions, and lab results for the patient. I'll take you through all three of those features right now. The observations, conditions, and lab results are displayed in a timeline format with the most recent additions on top. This is the add observation modal, and over here we can select an encounter date. The health professional can select a date that we chose for them, or they can enter their own down here. But for simplicity's sake, I'll just pick 3 days ago. Reason for visit, sick. Patient state, not feeling well. For the observations, we also pulled data from an API called Informatica, and it basically gives us suggested observations and auto-completes it for us. So let's say the patient has a fever. If I start typing in F, it'll start loading over here, and you're given a list of suggestions, and fever is what I wanted. So let me just submit that. It appears right here on the timeline. Let's move on to conditions now. Conditions is similar to observations in that we also get that data from Informatica. So let's search a condition that's where someone might have a fever. So let's say influenza. You can also select the severity of the patient. So let's say it's pretty mild and description is light fever of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. We can save that, confirm it, and it'll show up on the timeline similar to the observations. You can also add an observation to the condition. So I only have one observation, so it'll be both the first and the last one. You can click fever, and it'll give you the time that you observe the patient. And this is helpful if you see the patient for different days, so you can keep track of the patient's status. And let's add that as well. And let's move on to lab results. We can place a new order, and we can just write down the name, the category, status, and results of the lab test. So let's say blood test. Okay, arterial blood pH. Status. Here are the list of statuses, and let's say pending result looks pass. And save. And it saves right here. It's the health professional's main features. And now I'll be moving on to the patients. So a couple of minutes ago, we added Helena patient MedicLoud as a patient on MedicLoud. The only way for a patient to sign up with MedicLoud is through a link sent to their email. And we saw that right here. So let's verify the patient's account, and similar to the health professional, the patient is then linked to a page where they enter a username and a password. So their username will be Helena Sweet. Password. Go. The patient will now be redirected to a sign-in page where they pretty much just enter the credentials that they created. and this is the patient's dashboard. So it's the patient pretty much has a view-only mode of what the health professionals can do, and they also can update their profile. I'll take you through the updating profile first. So over here they can change their name, add a middle name, their birth date, their gender, and their contact information so that their information stays up to date with the system. So let's say female, and add a number, and an address. Save. The information will be saved to their dashboard, like so. Once again, without a page refresh. So a patient on MedicloudDemoVideo can have multiple health professionals, and they will be shown here. I was the one who added this patient, so I'm right here. I also added a lab test for them for the blood test, and it's shown right here. Their condition of influenza was added as well, with the observations of fever. And I also visited them where my health professional said that I had a fever. So I will now show you how a health professional is able to add an existing patient. Let's say that Helena, patient MedicloudDemoVideo, has another health professional who also has a MedicloudDemoVideo account, but they're not connected yet. The patient has an invitation code, also their PIN, that they can set right here. Log into another health professional account in order to add the new patient that we just created. So let me sign in. And once again, here's the health professional's dashboard. This is a really old account, so there's a lot of test data. But as you can see, we don't currently have a Helena patient MedicloudDemoVideo on our list of patients. So let's add her using her PIN. So add existing patient, and the patient can also refresh an invitation code. So 312772. Add patient. And the patient was successfully added. As you can, if we scroll down, we can see that patient MedicloudDemoVideo Helena is now here, and we have access to her profile. And this concludes MedicloudDemoVideo's main features. Once again, the health professionals have the features to add a patient, add appointments with the patient, add observations, conditions, and lab results, and also view the patient's page. The patients have a view-only mode of what the health professionals do to them, and they're also able to update their profile. Over here, there are no observations and conditions and lab results for Helena patient MedicloudDemoVideo because the doctors can only see what their observations for the patients are. They're not able to see the observations, conditions, and lab results that other health professionals give the patient, and this is for privacy purposes. Thank you for watching, and this is our project.